The light music club starts its senior year at high school. Yui, Mio, Ritsu, and Tsumugi, along with Nodoka, are all surprised that they have been put into the same homeroom class together. It quickly becomes clear that their new homeroom teacher, none other than Sawako, had set it up that way so she would have fewer names to remember. Because Azusa is only in her junior year of the light music club, the gang becomes determined to recruit new members so that she is not the only member when they graduate. Their various attempts to recruit new students, however, fail, so they focus on their performance at the freshman reception. Azusa is disappointed that no new members appear after that, but after speaking with Yui in June and overhearing Yui's comments, she decides that the 5 of them will suffice for the time being. While clearing their personal belongings out of the clubroom, the girls find an old guitar that used to belong to Sawako. Since it had aged a bit, Sawako allows the girls to sell it and add the money to the club's budget. After visiting a home superstore to buy a storage shelf, they take the guitar to the music store where they are surprised to find it valued at 500,000 yen. When Sawako inquires about the sale, Ritsu tries lying about its value, but it backfires when Sawako asks for a receipt and the club ends up getting considerably less money. However, she allows the girls to buy one thing with the money. Noticing that Azusa looks concerned about not having any freshmen to look after, the girls decide to get her a pet turtle, naming it Tun. After noticing how badly she shows up in videos of the band's performances, Ritsu decides she does not want to be the drummer anymore as she does not stand out enough. She tries playing the guitar but cannot get beyond the basics. She tries the keyboard next but only goes as far as playing with all the sound effects. The next day, Yui tries coming up with various ways to make Ritsu stand out, but with no such luck. Later that night, Ritsu recalls when she first started drumming and practicing every day. After watching a video of the Who in concert, she realizes that even though she is not always in the spotlight, she loves playing the drums. The next day, Tsumugi shows off a new song, calling it Honey Sweet Tea Time, through the inspiration of when Ritsu tried playing the keyboard the day before. The Light Music Club seniors go on a school field trip to Kyoto. On the train there, Mio is a little annoyed at Yui and Ritsu's childish behavior. Mio realizes that she will have to watch over both of them during the trip. After visiting various shrines and attractions, the group returns to the inn where the bad habits of the girls continue to annoy Mio and Sawako. The next day, they have a look around Kyoto, though Mio laments that no one wants to participate in any tourist activities. However, when they get lost on the way back to the train station along with Nodoka's group, Mio gives in to the jokey nature of the others and loosens up for the rest of the trip. Azusa, along with her classmates Yui and June, spend time together while the Light Music Club seniors are on their trip to Kyoto. Noticing that Yui would be lonely without her sister around, Azusa and June decide to sleep over at her house, in exchange for Azusa helping out with her underclassmen in the jazz club. After spending the night, they wake up to a rainy day. They go to an arcade where Yui hits a home run in a batting game before Azusa is reminded that she needs to feed Tun. While in the Light Music Club room, the 3 decide to have a jam session together. The other girls return the next day and give Azusa a keychain, one of a set that spells out Light Music Club. On a very rainy day, Yui gets wholly soaked trying to keep her guitar from getting wet. While Yui lets her clothes dry, she temporarily wears a maid costume made by Sawako until she gets told off about it. Azusa later helps Yui maintain her guitar. When it continues to rain the next day, the others recommend Yui keep her guitar in the clubroom overnight, though it causes her to worry late at night. The following day, Yui is so overjoyed to be reunited with her guitar that she brings it to class, but Sawako tells her to put it away. Mio gets the feeling that someone is watching her, making her feel uneasy, though it turns out to be because she had a sticker on her hair. She is visited by Nodoka, along with a couple of members from Mio's fan club. There, she met the former student council president Megumi Sakabe, who suspiciously appeared to know a lot about her and the Light Music Club. It was soon revealed that Megumi was not only Mio's stalker but was also the president of her fan club who had wanted to see as much of her as possible before she graduated. After Megumi graduated, she passed the position of fan club president over to Nodoka. Mio is initially embarrassed by all the skits, interviews, and services she has to put up with, but warms up when she sees a slideshow of her times with the light music club. The event ends with a performance and a group photo, which Azusa sends to Megumi. While filling out university choice forms, Yui and Ritsu get in trouble for not being decisive enough about their future. Nodoka tells the others about how Yui somehow became friends with her after they met in kindergarten and how she has improved since joining the light music club. Mio and Ritsu later tell how they met and how Ritsu helped Mio when she was nervous about reading her award-winning essay in front of others in 4th grade. When Yui attempts to put musician as her career choice only to be rejected, Nodoka cannot help but laugh. Yui asks her classmates for some advice, but still gets confused, so she says she will do her best for now, which is still rejected. As finals approach, Yui struggles with her studies. One of Yui's neighbors, a kindly old lady who is always taking care of her, tells Yui about an upcoming talent show event taking place right after finals. Wanting to pay her back, Yui decides to enter, though the others are concerned about her juggling two priorities. Azusa decides to join her act and help her study for finals. After their tests, Yui and Azusa perform their routine. Though they do not win, Yui gives her participation prize to the old lady as thanks. Yui manages to pass her tests with high scores. After Sawako gets a call on her phone from someone in the clubroom, the girls decide to follow her. After Sawako leaves, her friend introduces herself to the others as Narimi, a guitarist from the band of the previous light music club called Death Devil. She reveals that one of their classmates is getting married and asked Death Devil to perform at the wedding reception, but Narimi cannot convince Sawako to join up with them due to her current image. When Yui and the others are unable to convince Sawako, Yui ends up taking the guitarist role in the band, much to Sawako's surprise. However, when Yui messes up and starts giving the band a cute image, Sawako steps up on stage to take Yui's place to show everyone what Death Devil is really about. Despite her secret shame being found out, she still remains popular with the freshmen. During an unbearably hot day, the girls have trouble beating off the heat and also notice tons shedding in its current aquarium tank. After dragging Sawako away from the air-conditioned staff room, partly to give Tsumugi a ride back to her house to get a bigger tank for Ton, the girls wonder why the clubroom does not have an air conditioner. After inquiring with Nodoka about it, it turns out that Ritsu never sent in a request for an air conditioner due to her never attending any student council club meetings. After pleading with the student council, the clubroom gets one installed. However, Yui slumps over, having forgotten that she is allergic to air conditioning. With summer vacation starting, everyone initially decides to do another training camp, but instead, they decide this year to go to a summer rock festival in the mountains, which Sawako conveniently has tickets for. After following Sawako's strict survival guide, the festival starts and everyone gets into it, especially Mio, although Tsumugi and Yui become depressed when they cannot eat the foods they want. Meanwhile, the girls shortly go separate ways to listen to different bands. While Mio gets entranced by a left-handed guitarist, Sawako enjoys headbanging to a heavy metal band far from the others. After a day of music, the girls sit under the stars, listen to the bands far away, and agree to perform at the next summer festival. Azusa hangs out with the other girls studying for their exams with Yui. Throughout the day, Azusa daydreams about the other girls. Later, Azusa, Yui, and June visit a swimming pool, and June begins to regret not joining the light music club. After that, they run into Yui and the others for real, and they all go to a summer festival together before Azusa, Yui, and June lose them in the crowd. June says she might join the light music club if they don't get any more members by next year. At the end of the day, Azusa worries about being alone and promises to make the upcoming school festival performance a success. Unable to get Mio to hang out with her, Ritsu runs into Tsumuji, who decides to hang out with her. They go to an arcade and then a candy store, where Tsumuji is mesmerized by the cheap items. Meanwhile, Yui invites Nodoka over to help her with her homework and gets upset after eating a strawberry from her cake. Tsumuji later asks Ritsu to hit her in order to form the same bond she has with Mio, but Ritsu is unable to do so. Ritsu tries, but fails, to train Tsumuji to be stupid enough that Mio will hit her instead. Tsumuji eats a strawberry from Mio's cake in the hopes of creating an opportunity, but this causes her to cry. Having given up when a direct request to Mio also fails, Tsumuji finally gets hit when she implies Ritsu would be popular with the girls if she was a boy. When the girls return to school after the summer break, they learn about a school-wide 5,000-meter marathon race, in which Yui is not interested. The sight of the marathon course while riding in Sawako's car makes her dread it. During the race, Yui is constantly distracted, and everyone eventually becomes tired of trying to keep them motivated. The girls discover Yui has gone missing after reaching the top of a steep hill and set out to find her. When Yui learns of this, she deduces that Yui has been staying at the old lady's house since she injured her knee. At the final stretch, Yui assumes that the person in last place will not be served mochi, causing everyone to rush the finish, resulting in Mio, who did not want to finish last because it would be embarrassing, performing an extravagant roll upon tripping at the finish line. When Azusa realizes that the light music club has been slacking recently, she becomes determined to practice more. Azusa runs into Tsumuji alone in the clubroom and tries to teach her guitar. She later gets a chance to practice alone with Mio, but she is interrupted when Ritsu needs Mio's help, and the girls end up spending the evening at Ritsu's house. Azusa runs into Yui in the clubroom the next day, hoping to practice, but instead ends up cleaning Tun's tank and assisting her in understanding how to play the song Tsumuji composed, as she cannot read sheet music. Yui reminds Azusa of her uniqueness by personalizing her keychain. The clubroom is closed for repairs, so the girls have no place to practice. The girls try to come up with lyrics for the song Tsumuji wrote while looking for a suitable location for their practice. When they can't find a place to practice at school, they rent a studio, but they end up wasting time discussing lyrics and running out of time before they can practice, even though the clubroom reopens the next day. The next night, Yui assists Yui in writing some lyrics, but catches a cold, leaving Yui, who has always relied on her, to look after her instead. Yui, realizing how important she is to her, composes some lyrics for Yui, which are approved by the other club members. Mio and Ritsu are both nominated for the roles of Romeo and Juliet in the class play, much to their dismay. Mio struggles with the pressure of being the center of attention, while Ritsu fails to act ladylike enough for her role. Ritsu and Mio decide to cram after being dissatisfied with having other girls train for them. They discover the key to successfully acting out their parts while doing impersonations of each other if they switch roles. Tsumuji, noticing Mio's lack of confidence, arranges for her and the others to work as maids in a high-end cafe to help her overcome her embarrassment. Although she gains some confidence, Mio insists it is different from being on stage. Meanwhile, Azusa grows concerned that, with everyone rehearsing for the play, no one is preparing for the live concert. As the seniors prepare for the play, Azusa is concerned that there hasn't been enough practice for the live concert. The backstage crew realizes as the play progresses that they are missing Juliet's gravestone, which is required for the climax, but they manage to borrow something from the occult club in time. Following a successful performance, the girls apologize to Azusa for causing her concern and agree to hold an overnight practice session at school. Later that night, they go through the closed stalls, where they discover the missing gravestone and thank the occult club. The next morning, Sawako gives the girls special after-school tea time t-shirts for their upcoming performance. When the girls walk on stage for their performance, they are surprised to see that everyone in the audience is wearing the same shirts as them, which moves Yui greatly. During their performance, they sing 2 new songs, and Yui expresses her gratitude to those who have helped her and receives gratitude in return. After their performance, the girls reflect on their previous years and begin to cry as they realize this is their final year together, but they manage to cheer each other up. Yui uses Yui as a model to determine the best hairstyle for the graduation yearbook photos, but she feels strange when she leaves her hairpin on her. Although the seniors have finished their clubs, the girls decide to use the light music clubroom to study for their entrance exams, despite the fact that Yui and Ritsu have yet to decide on their university choices. Yui sneezes and accidentally cuts off her bangs while trimming them for her yearbook photo, giving her a completely different appearance. After their photos are taken, the girls learn that Mio turned down a university recommendation because she wanted to study with everyone. Upon hearing this, Yui, Ritsu, and Mio turn in their university preference applications to Sawako, opting to go to the same women's university as Tsumugi. As the seniors study for their entrance exams, Azusa decides to make them a chocolate cake for Valentine's Day, enlisting the help of Yui and June. When the big day arrives, Azusa is nervous about presenting the cake to them and about their impending graduation. Her friends, on the other hand, encourage her, and the cake is well received, even resulting in a quick white date gift from Yui. The next day, Azusa makes an expensive prayer for the girls' success at the shrine and later learns that they have all passed their entrance exams. Despite the fact that they are not supposed to be at school until graduation the next day, Yui and the others decide to hang out in the clubroom, though they struggle to find ways to pass the time. They clean up their desks and go to the student council room before asking Azusa to buy them lunch. The girls decide to record an album of their songs in order to leave something behind after they graduate. Yui has a bad start to the graduation ceremony by being late and ripping her tights. Meanwhile, Azusa becomes distracted and hits her head. The girls keep a card signed by the entire class, though Yui's attempts to conceal it during the graduation ceremony make Sawako suspicious. They later give the present to Sawako as a thank you for being their teacher. The girls and Azusa go to the light music clubroom after the classroom empties, leaving several goodbye messages on a chalkboard for Sawako. Azusa, who had been suppressing her emotions all day, finally bursts into tears, pleading with them not to graduate. To cheer her up, the girls perform a special song that they wrote just for her. Azusa discovers the light music club's attempted recruitment video from before she joined the club, which was so embarrassing that Mio hid it in a cookie can. The girls try and fail to come up with pitches for a new recruitment video in order to recruit some new members for the coming year. After speaking with Yui and June, Azusa comes up with the idea of filming a documentary about their activities, which will be interspersed with interviews from fellow students and staff. Except for one scene near the end that Azusa dislikes, the video is excellent. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this video.